The time of troubles was a period of intense social, political, and economic upheaval in Russia that lasted from 1598 to 1613. It seemed to have an endless capacity for producing pretenders to the throne. The once mighty Rurik dynasty, which had ruled for over 7 centuries, was on the verge of collapse. Its last Tsar, Fyodor I, was a weak and sickly ruler, incapable of providing the strong leadership the sprawling realm desperately needed. Power lay in the hands of Boris Godunov, Fyodor's brother-in-law and a shrewd political operator. Godunov, however, was not of royal blood. He was a boyar, a member of the highest rank of the Russian nobility. He skillfully maneuvered himself into a position of absolute authority. He became regent for the feeble Fyodor and effectively ruled in his stead. The stage was set for a period of chaos and upheaval, a time when ambitious men, cloaked in deception and fueled by the promise of power, would emerge from the shadows to claim the vacant throne. Like and subscribe now to help this channel grow, and let me know in the comments below what story from history you want to see next. Thanks. Let's get back to the impostor stories. Tsarevich. Dmitry was the youngest son of Ivan the Terrible and the heir apparent to the throne. In 1591, the 8-year-old boy died unexpectedly. Dmitry's death was shrouded in mystery and suspicion. The official account claimed that the young prince had stabbed himself in the throat accidentally while playing with a knife. However, rumors quickly spread that Dmitry had been murdered. The finger of blame pointed at Boris Godunov. As regent, Godunov was the one who benefited most from Dmitry's death. With Dmitry out of the way, the path to the throne was clear for Godunov. The boyars, Russia's powerful nobles, watched Godunov with a mixture of fear and suspicion. The death of Dmitry, whether an accident or a cunningly orchestrated murder, created a climate of fear and uncertainty. Boris Godunov ascended to the throne in 1598. He was crowned Tsar Boris I, the first non-Rurikid to rule Russia. Godunov was a capable administrator. He implemented reforms aimed at modernizing Russia and strengthening its position on the world stage. He invited foreign artisans and craftsmen to Russia, hoping to learn from their skills and expertise. Despite his efforts, Godunov's reign was plagued by misfortune and suspicion. A devastating famine swept through Russia in the early 17th century, killing thousands and fueling widespread discontent. Already suspicious of Godunov's role in Dmitry's death, the people began to whisper that he was cursed. Godunov's paranoia grew. He saw enemies everywhere, both real and imagined. The rumors of the murdered Tsarevich Dmitry refused to die. The stage was set for the emergence of the False Dmitrys, men who would capitalize on the chaos and uncertainty to advance their own ambitions. In 1603, a young man claiming to be Tsarevich Dmitry, miraculously saved from the assassins, emerged in Poland. He called himself Dmitry Ivanovich, the rightful Tsar of all Russia. This was False Dmitry I, the first of the pretenders who would use the legend of the murdered prince to stake their claim to the Russian throne. False Dmitry I's true identity remains a mystery. Some historians believe he was a runaway monk named Grigory Otrepyev, a man of some education and charisma. Regardless of his true origins, False Dmitry I proved to be a skilled manipulator of men and events. He gained the support of powerful Polish magnates, promising them land, wealth, and influence in exchange for their military backing. False Dmitry I, with his promises of restoring justice, ending Godunov's tyranny, and ushering in a new era of prosperity, gathered a following of disaffected Russians eager for change. Backed by a small Polish army and a growing force of Russian rebels, False Dmitry invaded Russia in 1604. His campaign was aided by the widespread discontent with Godunov's rule. The famine, the rumors of Godunov's crimes, and the belief that False Dmitry was the rightful heir to the throne, created a groundswell of support for the pretender. Godunov's sudden death in 1605 removed the last obstacle to False Dmitry's ambitions. Sensing the shifting tides of power, the boyars abandoned Godunov's heir and threw their support behind the pretender. In June 1605, False Dmitry entered Moscow in triumph and was crowned Tsar Dmitry I. He was hailed by the crowds as the rightful heir, returned from the dead to claim his birthright. False Dmitry's reign was a brief and tumultuous one. He needed to appease his Polish backers, who expected him to make good on his promises of land and influence. Though he faced challenges, False Dmitry managed to implement some popular reforms. Despite his initial popularity and attempts at reform, False Dmitry's reign was destined to be short-lived. His Polish origins, his Catholic faith, and his reliance on foreign advisors made him vulnerable to the machinations of his enemies. The boyars were resentful of his attempts to curtail their power and began to plot against him. They found a willing leader in Vasily Shuisky, a powerful boyar who had himself harbored ambitions for the throne. Whispers of False Dmitry, the first true identity, began to circulate. Rumors spread that he was not the real Dmitry, but an impostor, a thief who had stolen the throne. In May 1606, a group of boyars led by Vasily Shuisky launched a coup against False Dmitry I. They stormed the Kremlin, the seat of Russian power, and confronted the pretender. False Dmitry was taken by surprise and killed in the ensuing chaos. His death marked the end of his brief and tumultuous reign. Yet, the death of False Dmitry I did not end the chaos and turmoil that gripped Russia. In 1607, a new pretender, claiming to be the resurrected False Dmitry I, emerged in the town of Starodub. This was False Dmitry II, a figure even more enigmatic than his predecessor. Little is known about his true origins. Some historians believe he may have been a priest's son, while others speculate that he was a former soldier or even a runaway serf. The new False Dmitry established a rival court in the village of Tushino just outside Moscow. Like his predecessor, False Dmitry II sought the support of foreign powers. He allied himself with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, promising them territorial concessions in exchange for military aid. He also gained a powerful ally in Marina Mniszek, the widow of False Dmitry I. She claimed that he was her true husband, who had never died and lived with him as if nothing had ever changed. With False Dmitry II still entrenched in Tushino, yet another figure claiming to be the miraculously resurrected Dmitry emerged. This was False Dmitry III, a man shrouded in even more mystery than his predecessors. His true origins remain uncertain. Some historians speculated that he may have been a deacon named Sidorka. False Dmitry III's moment in the spotlight was fleeting. In 1612, False Dmitry III's short-lived adventure came to an ignominious end. He was captured by forces loyal to the Romanov dynasty and executed in secret. The False Dmitrys, a trio of impostors, exploited a national crisis to advance their ambitions, leaving an interesting mark on Russian history. Their reigns, marked by intrigue and violence, epitomize the chaos of the time of troubles. This period, from Tsar Fyodor's death in 1598 to the Romanov dynasty in 1613, tested Russian society. The False Dmitrys exposed the weaknesses of the Russian state and deep societal divisions. Their claims intensified foreign intervention in Russian affairs. The impostors' reliance on Polish and Lithuanian support fueled resentment among Russians. The time of troubles became a proxy war between European powers. The False Dmitrys' reigns had a profound impact on the Russian psyche. They exploited the belief in the murdered Tsarevich Dmitry, highlighting the power of myth in shaping opinion. The time of troubles, though a period of suffering, paved the way for a stronger Russia. The legacy of the false Dmitrys served as a reminder of the importance of unity and strong leadership. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Trot Historia to continue learning from the annals of history.